Hi guys, it's Losi from Losi and welcome to All Things Events, where you learn all the tips and tricks on how to be in an events industry. Welcome to another video, and this video is all about how to start an events company. I'm in the event space and I'm here to teach you about everything regarding events. I have been getting a lot of messages on my Instagram and on my Facebook, basically people congratulating me on the content that I produce. Thank you very much. And also people asking me about how to start an events company, how to get into the events company, how they can get jobs within the industry, and everything that basically has to do with events. So today I'm coming to you with all that information. But before I start, I want to mention that there's a DM that stood out the most to me, and this lady basically asked everything in detail, which I like the most because it doesn't help me talk about how to start a company without being specific, because I'm about events and I'm coming to you to tell you about everything that has to do with events. So without wasting any time, let's just go ahead with today's video. I am going to read out a DM that stood out the most, and this DM is from Umihle Yolanda Sihlali. She basically said, "Good evening, sis Siphe Sihle. You mentioned on the channel that we let you know if there's any content we would like to see in the channel. I would very much like you to share about how you started your company, your challenges, lessons, do's and don'ts. And also, please mention the must-haves to start an events company." That's a very good question. Questions, I'm basically going to elaborate in detail on how I basically started so that you guys have a little bit of an idea on how you can start as well. Now, before I do that, I do understand there is a lot of people that follow me now on Instagram that love doing events or that are in the event space. Some of them I basically work with them, they are colleagues or they work for my company, and some of them are actually people that started following me during this whole quarantine time, and they saw that I have more information in terms of like events. So, and also most of them, they're actually studying events, which is great because I'm coming to you with just experience and things that I learned along the lines of me doing this whole events management. I did not study events. I don't have any qualifications in events, but I do run an events management company and I work all over SA for clients that are wedding planners, coordinators, and so forth. So I basically wanted to list down all the questions and then answer them one-on-one. The year that I started my company, if you do go on the website, I don't know if you guys follow me, but if you go on my website, is actually www.ilosievents.co.za. That's where you're going to see all the brief of exactly what I do, even though now I am basically expanding and I'm going to more depth in terms of like events. But the company was registered in 2013. However, I started operating in the business end 2016, basically December, the 26th of December 2016, that's when I started fully working for myself, and I've been doing that ever since. Now, for me, starting the company, it was very, I guess it was more like a tricky situation, or it was more of, I guess, trying it out, because when I was studying for my second qualification, the fashion design qualification, I got to work in the industry. I was pushed by friends that told me that I've got this energy that is required in terms of the event space, so they wanted me to basically go and try it out and see where it can take me. And obviously as a student I was like, great, why not? I went and I worked in the event space. I ended up working for a company that hired me until I quit the job. So when I quit my job, I ended up getting a lot of following in terms of like my WhatsApp, my BBM back then. People used to ask me to hook them up with jobs, to hook them up with promotions, because I was very much deep in the event space, because I used to work all over Cape Town, from the wine farms, which was in Paarl, to Stellenbosch, and all over Cape Town, including the Table Mountain and so forth. So people actually sent me a lot of messages asking me if I can hook them up with jobs and so forth. And a friend of mine actually convinced me to start the company. He was like, listen, you've got a lot of people that always call you and they tell you to hook them up with jobs. Why can't you do your own thing? Why can't you start your own company? And bear in mind, guys, I used to work for a company that does exactly the same thing as me. I basically went on my own and I did my own thing. However, in 2013, when I registered the company, it was not easy because, first of all, not having a capital to start a company is just a disaster on its own. But I think as strong people, we do learn how to fight, and we fight through to make sure that you get whatever that you want. So I basically registered the company in 2013. However, personally, I was not ready to start a company. As much as, yes, I had a following, I had people that asked me to hook them up with jobs and so forth, but not myself, I was not ready at all. When I'm saying not ready, firstly, I was not matured. I did not have the confidence that I needed, obviously, to run a business. I did not have leadership skills that you will definitely need to start anything, especially if you're going to have people that are going to work for you. So that is why my company actually never took off in 2013 until and 2016. And now by the time I basically went back to start my business again, I already moved from Cape Town to Johannesburg. That's where I was based, and I saw the need and the opportunity for me to start again because I'm a lover of service. I love getting a good service. I love giving a good service. I love entertaining. I love making sure that people feel the most welcomed, the most important, VVIP sort of hosting. I'm that person. So I saw in Johannesburg there wasn't much of that. You can't get a good service unless you are in certain spaces or unless you are dressed in a certain way. That is where you will get a good service. But if you just walking around in flip-flops and tank tops and go to a nice restaurant and think you will get the best service, forget. Sometimes you do, but from the experience that I got, I never. So that's when I decided, you know what, let me go back in the company. And by now, that was like 2 years, 3 years later. By then, I was already strong. I was already confident. I had grew a thick skin. I'm pretty sure everyone would agree with me. If you are not from Joburg and you just moved to this side, you know, here things get real. So this place, it really challenges you. And I then decided to try it out again. And already I was working on my mindset. I was working on a lot of things that are going to prepare me to basically start the company. The company was already registered. It was a matter of me reopening my business account. If you guys want to know more about that, send me a DM. I can basically give more detail in terms of how you open your business account or how you go about it, or you can just basically go on YouTube or on Google how to do things. Every information, everything that you need to know is basically there. So that is how my company was started. So the year was registered in 2013. However, I started operating end of 2016. My first gig was the 26th of December and it was in Seshego, Polokwane. I pulled it off. That's basically how I started. And then the second question is my challenges. What challenges did I face? What challenges am I facing? So basically challenges, it's not something that you face in the beginning and then as you go about running your business, they stop. You still face challenges every day. I mean, right now, the whole industry is on pause. There isn't much that we can do because we are all affected by the whole COVID-19. People are getting married. in their homes, which, I mean, as events managers and planners, we're now like, what the hell is going on? So basically the first challenge that I had was not having the capital, obviously, to run my company. Because I know the company that I used to work for, I didn't know what preparations that they did before they took off. But when I started, I'm like, geez, I now need a laptop, I need Wi-Fi 24/7, I need a phone that has airtime, I need a car to drive around and meet clients. There's a lot of things that I needed, but it was not necessarily a must, because you can always tweak things where you can. So I basically started my company with just my laptop and with data. The complex that I used to stay in, they had internet at the poolside, so I used to chill by the poolside. It was basically like me gathering the team that I needed to start the company, and also guidance. I didn't have somebody to guide me where I'm doing things wrong, where I'm doing things bad, and so forth. So I had to learn along the line. But challenges was basically your capital. If you don't have capital and you don't have guidance, you don't necessarily need a mentorship, but you need someone that's gonna guide you and say, oh, okay, when you get a call that says, I need you at this place, this is what you need to do before you travel. Because one thing, what I understood now is that you cannot do events, or you cannot work without confirming payments. That is why you have a lot of businesses struggling with their cash flow, because most people or most clients, they don't secure payments up front. And then because you are starting in the industry and you're like, you know what, it's fine, let me go and work, they will pay me later, of which sometimes later can become 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. And if you are working with people, it's very difficult to keep up with that. So you always need to make sure there's a routine that you follow to make sure, before I go and work for this person, I need a proof of payment, I need address, I need this, I need a briefing, so that by the time you get on site, you pretty much have an idea of what you need to do. There's a lot of challenges that I can talk about, but those are the ones that I can give you at the moment. And then thirdly is do's and don'ts. Now, the do's and don'ts are a lot. I mean, there's a lot of things that you shouldn't do. Please, please, please do not drink on the job. I know it's events. Sometimes you do a party, sometimes you do a celebration, sometimes you do a festival. There's a lot of events that you can do where there's alcohol involved, and the clients will offer you drinks, they will offer you champagne, they will offer you pretty much everything, but it is up to you to take it upon yourself and make sure you don't drink on the job. Because I know myself, I know when I'm intoxicated, I'm the worst person to deal with, really. But I have seen at events where I work with suppliers, I work with chefs that will drink on the job and get super drunk, and they will fall all over. Some will start burning the food. It will be a whole mess. So you don't want to do that, even if you can handle your alcohol, but you actually do not want to do that. Because another thing is that, remember, you are still in your office. Yes, it's a different kind of office, because you are not sitting down in front of your computer. You are actually there to showcase your work, of which everything that you are doing, you will get judged on. So you need to make sure that you do not take alcohol at all. That's the first thing that I would say. Secondly, don't become friends with your clients. I know this is very tricky, because sometimes friends, they turn into clients, or sometimes clients, they turn into friends. It's a situation whereby people came to you based off work. Rather, keep it like that. Keep it very professional. Make sure that you deliver on your clients, and not have this thing of, no, they're my friends, or no, we've known each other for long, and so forth. Always deliver. That will always keep you on top of your game, because you understand that this person is not my friend. I do not know this person. They paid me in full. So you must make sure that you don't become friends with your clients. And even if somebody was a friend and then now they turn into a client, you must also make sure you keep the relationship very professional, so that you don't have someone talking bad about you, or saying things that a lot of people didn't know about you because they know you on a personal note. Do you get what I mean? So I would definitely say do not do that. The third one, I would say do not mix business with pleasure, which is exactly like turning your friends into clients, or clients into your friends. But do not mix business with pleasure, because sometimes you might get yourself into trouble, and also you're gonna meet those people where they want to take advantage of you. It can be male, it can be females, people that want to now have benefits. They want you to supply at their event and then after chill with them and entertain them. So you must make sure that you do not want to do that, because at the end of the day, it might get you into trouble. You might not know this person, what connections they are, and you might also ruin your reputation. I've been in the industry for 8 years now, 9 years now, and everyone that is a client stays as a client, because I do not want to now be known, oh, Losi is that type of person, even though, trust me, I am very fun to be with, but at the same time, I do not want to offer those services unless I'm with my person. So you definitely don't want to do that. And lastly is keeping your problems your problems, not everybody else's problem. Because sometimes when you own a company, or you are the boss and so forth, and you're experiencing problems and stuff like that, you must make sure that you deal with them yourself. Don't make them other people's problems. For instance, I've had a client that apparently she was scammed, or I don't know what was happening with her bank account, and then now she comes to me, she's explaining the whole thing about, no, I can't pay you because of this and this, and I was like, but I have nothing to do with that. Do you get what I mean? Can you try and make sure that you sort me out, and then you can deal with whatever that you're dealing with? Because at the end of the day, I provided you a service and I expect to be paid for it, not to be told issues and problems and so forth. I've also had personal issues whereby, because I understand how I would like things to be done, so I didn't expect to make my problems someone else's problems, like for instance my team. So what then happened to me, basically I did not have a place to stay. And even though I did not have that, but I was still running a business and I was still going to events, I managed to keep everything squeaky clean and make sure that wherever that I'm needed for work and wherever that I needed to pay my people, I do exactly that, because they did not sign up for me being involved in a situation where I was scammed and so forth. So it has nothing to do with them. All I needed to do was to pay them and compensate them the time that they spent with me, obviously at events. I definitely want to make sure of that. And the do's, I would definitely say communication. A lot of people do not communicate with their staff. They're not communicating with their clients. They don't communicate with their suppliers, with their customers, especially in small businesses. I mean, it's a sad thing. It's such a shame. And that is why now you find a lot of people go on the internet and basically write bad reviews about companies. And also, I don't want to just put it on small companies. I also want to put it on clients or customers. People don't know how to complain. People don't know how to voice out things that they're unhappy about. If you're unhappy about something, you quickly go and get another supplier, but you don't tell them, you know what, Losi, I don't like you coming to work and acting like you can run the whole thing, whereas I am the events planner or I am the coordinator. I would like you to do what I paid you to do, not over deliver. Something as simple as that. Even though I'm thinking that, no, you know what, I'm helping my client, because sometimes people don't want that. So you literally need to start communicating with your clients. You need to start communicating with your team. It is so sad and so terrible where you go to clients' venues and go to clients' sites, and the whole team doesn't know the client, doesn't know who the client is. Nobody knows the briefing. No one knows what we're supposed to do. And because I've been in the space. I kind of like figure out what we supposed to do, and also I always ask client to give me a little bit of brief on what's expected of us and make sure that I deliver on that, rather than going there and I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. And also I'm a fast thinker, so I don't expect someone to tell me, oh okay, this and this and this and this in the whole detail. Yes, you can give me a little bit of a brief, but the other things I can basically think it myself and make things happen. So I definitely want to encourage a lot of companies and a lot of people actually to start communicating with their teams, and also their teams, if there's questions that they would like to know, they should definitely ask questions. A lot of people go to events and they go to work for people and they don't ask anything. They don't ask about food, they don't ask about time, they don't ask about attire, they don't ask about anything. They just go there and expect, I don't know, somebody to just smile that, hey, this is what you need, of which it's great when there is communication happening so that you avoid, having disagreements and also having problems along the line. Secondly is positive energy. I am all about, yay, positivity and making sure things happen on time with such great energy. Because another thing is that what you need to understand in the event space, or us as small businesses, we work a lot with energies. Even though you think, no, I just booked this person because of their work, sometimes people book you because of your character, your energy, and everything that you basically bring at events. I know I hire people that can give me good energy, good attitude, because at the end of the day, I understand you're going to deal with clients, you're going to deal with guests, you need to greet people, you need to say hello to people. So if you're going to go to an event and you're just all grumpy, you don't have a nice energy, you're like slouching like this, and you're just like, yeah, okay, do you get what I mean? Like, that does not serve the company any good, not even yourself, because at the end of the day, firstly, people are going to think that you have an attitude, and people are going to think that you're such a negative person, but it's because of the way you are presenting yourself. You're not opening up, you're not smiling, you're not giving the good energy and the positive energy that you would also like to receive, because at the end of the day, you wouldn't want to be in a space where everything just feels so off. You want to be in a space where you feel welcomed, people are smiling, people are greeting you, people are showing you where you're supposed to be, and so forth. You definitely want to work with people like that. And also, it's not just suppliers giving the energy, it's also clients giving the energy. You don't want to work for somebody that's going to order you around and tell you, you need to do this, I'm paying you for doing this, and so forth. You actually do not want that. You want to have a client that's going to respect you, customers that are going to respect you, so that you can give respect back. Because to be honest, it's all about inner ete. You can't give without receiving. Yes, they are paying you in terms of money, but they must also show you a level of respect that you would give back as well. Another one is basically the attitude, which is more onto the positive energy, positive attitude, positivity at all times, especially when you are in the workspace. The fourth one is show up consistently. Guys, events are sometimes a nightmare. They are such a nightmare, trust me, because you want to work, you want the money, but sometimes you're not feeling well. You might have a tummy ache, you might have a headache, you might have something. But if every time you have a little thing, you don't show up, you make excuses, you say, hi Losi, sorry, I can't come today, you're gonna expect every time I've got an event to call you, because you are a person that's not reliable. So I think it goes without say that if you don't show up, if you're not reliable, no one is going to book you, no one is going to, trust you, no one is going to put their money on you, because you always got something to do. You always have problems, you always have issues. Even if you're a great worker, you can be a great person to work with, you can be the best of the best, but if you have a headache or you've got a tummy ache, all of a sudden you can't suck it up and deal with the work that you need to do. You always want to, no, I can't come, and so forth. definitely no one is going to work with you and no one is going to book you. I do the same thing as well. If I feel like this person, they always have issues, my dog this, my cat, I need to, no, I cannot have that. I really do not have time for that. I always show up consistently for my clients, and I always need people that are going to show up consistently for me as well, and also for themselves, because at the end of the day, you are not doing this for me, you are also doing it for yourself. And last thing is to be a problem solver. It's something that you need to basically learn, and learn how to deal with different people, different cultures, different ages, different situations, different spaces, different provinces, cities, whatever that you may call it, because sometimes you find out that the things that you know as a norm, the other people, they don't know it as a norm. So for you to basically lash out on those people and not deal with things accordingly, it's gonna create a hoo-ha, you know. Sometimes you might find yourself, I know it from me, feeling like you are begging people to work, or feeling like telling them, you know what, the other people, they do it great, or the other company does a better job, and so forth. So it's basically another way of communication, even if it is not you that is at fault or the other person that's at fault. If you see something, or you are in a situation where you need to solve things, rather solve them or try and get a way where you can deal with them. I've been in an incident where one of my managers basically said something to one of the new girls, and I don't know, I wasn't even there. I don't know what happened, but now this girl is at work and she's crying. And the thing is, it's not a matter of, okay, you know what, if you're not okay, if you're not feeling well, let me book you a taxi or let me get you home. It was a matter of, you don't have a choice but to be here until we're done, which is going to be the next day. So what I then had to do is basically deal with the situation and listen to her, and basically make sure that she is okay, because she came here to obviously support me or to support the company and work. And for her to feel the way that she was feeling when she started crying, I basically had to make sure that everything is all good and is all well, and I did exactly that. I solved that and she was fine. But I also figured that sometimes I come across as being, let's do this, let's whatsoever. And sometimes I make jokes. People that have worked with me for a while, they understand it. But the new people, it's like, whoa, this girl, she wants us to be like superheroes, you know? But at the end of the day, everything was all sorted out and everything was great. And yeah, that is basically it. That is all that I have today. I know there is a question that I did not answer, which is the must-haves of starting an events company. The reason why I did not answer that question is because events are broad. There is so many types of events companies that you can start. For instance, some people are only focusing on florals, which are the flowers. Some people focus on the decor. Some people focus on the lighting. Some people focus on the stages. Some people focus on the management. Some people focus on being MCs. Some people focus on being a band. There's a lot of things that you can basically think of when starting an events company. It is not just, oh, I'm an events company, I do deco, or I'm an events company, I do catering, I'm an events company, I do bartending. There's a lot of things. I am an events company. I started off with an agency where I supply waiters and waitresses at events for corporate clients and business owners. However, I am now growing into other things where I'm doing like your baby showers and weddings and so forth. So if you want me to shoot that content, it will basically be on another video where I explain things in depth when you starting over as a decor or as a catering. But I will definitely have someone that is in catering to explain more on what equipment that you should have and so forth. And yes guys, that is it for today. Please do let me know if you like this content. Share this content, comment on YouTube, not just Facebook and Instagram. Please comment here on YouTube and let me know some of the things that you liked about today's video. Let me know if this actually helped you, and do not forget to like, comment and subscribe on my channel. I will see you on my next upload. Mwah!